So what if you had to just leave everything behind? It's a tough thought, right? Well, there's this children's book called The Journey that dives right into this heartbreaking question with some really stunning art and a deceptively simple story. Today, we're going to unpack its powerful message together.
No, I mean, really think about that for a second. What would it actually take to make you leave your home, your entire life, and just walk into a future you can't even begin to imagine?
Well, that powerful window we're talking about, it comes from an award-winning book, The Journey by Francesca Sanna. So let's open it up and see what this story really has to show us.
Okay, so first up, let's get a closer look at the book itself and really dig into why it's had such a huge impact. So what is The Journey? At its core, it's a picture book, but don't let that fool you. It uses that really simple format to help us understand one of the most complex and honestly heart-wrenching issues of our time, the refugee experience. Through its absolutely beautiful art, it shows us the incredibly dangerous path that families are forced to take, all in the search for safety.
All right, so who's at the heart of this story? Let's meet the family.
Okay, so we see the whole story through the eyes of a young girl, and right away, there's tragedy. They lose their father to the war. So it's just her, her sibling, and their mother, who the author actually calls the story's superhero, and they're left to find their own way. And here's something really interesting. The author made a very deliberate choice. None of the characters have names. And why is that? Well, it completely transforms their personal story into a universal one. It becomes the shared story of countless families who've been forced to flee. And this is where you see just how fast everything can change. The story starts with this beautiful, peaceful life by the sea. It's idyllic. But then, war arrives. And suddenly, the mother has to make this absolutely impossible choice: stay in danger, or leave everything they've ever known behind in the search for safety.
And that decision? Well, that's what kicks off their long, dangerous journey to find safety.
And listen, this isn't just one obstacle, it's one thing after another, a whole chain of them. First, they're fleeing by car in the dead of night. Then, they're facing armed guards at a border they're not allowed to cross. They have to hide in a terrifying, dark forest, and finally, they find themselves crossing the sea on a crowded ferry, with literally no idea what's waiting for them on the other side.
And through all of this chaos and fear, the mother's courage is the family's anchor. It's incredible. She has this amazing duality. On the outside, she's projecting nothing but strength and reassurance for her kids, while on the inside, she's hiding her own immense fear.
You know, the illustrations are absolutely central to the storytelling here. You can really see how the art style shifts along with their journey. It goes from these bright, vibrant, hopeful colors to these really dark, muted tones. The colors themselves pull you right into the family's growing sense of fear and uncertainty. It's so effective.
Okay, so this seemingly simple story is just packed with big ideas. Let's zoom out for a second and explore the universal themes that are really at its core.
The entire story is really built on this constant push and pull between darkness and light. You know, for every moment of war and fear, there's this counterpoint of family bonds and incredible bravery. At the end of the day, it's the hope they find in each other that literally keeps them moving forward. And if we actually break it down, it's fascinating to see that even with all the hardship, hope is the single largest theme. It's like the fuel for their journey, right? And it's all interwoven with that deep sense of family, the real pain of loss, and just the sheer strength of their resilience.
And this is so important. This isn't just some made-up tale. The author, Francesca Sanna, was actually inspired after meeting two young girls in a refugee center. That experience led her to interview many families, weaving their real lived experiences into what she calls this incredible collage of personal stories.
So, why? Why does this one children's book resonate so deeply with so many people, adults and kids alike? What is it that makes this story matter so much?
Well, I think it's because it's such a powerful tool for building empathy. Think about it. We hear statistics about crises all the time, and they can feel so abstract, right? Just numbers. But a story like this, it grounds everything in a real human experience. By following this one family's fear and courage, we connect on an emotional level. It makes a huge global issue feel personal, relatable.
And its real power, its magic, really, is in its ability to show the experience rather than just tell you about it. And what that does is it opens the door for some of the most important conversations a parent and a child can have. about compassion, about what safety means, and about our shared humanity. The ending of the book is, wow, it's incredibly poignant. Because there's no perfect happy ending. The family doesn't just arrive somewhere and everything's fixed. Instead, they're shown migrating, just like birds. And it's this powerful, beautiful symbol that their search for a real, true home, it's still ongoing.
So the book leaves us with this final, really powerful question. That unresolved ending, it's designed to push us to think way beyond the last page. It reminds us that a journey like this isn't just about crossing a border on a map. No, it's about finding safety, finding community, and finding a place to finally call home. And the tough reality is, for millions of people out there, that journey is far from over.